Hello, Nathaniel Gabronsky here, and I'm in Centerville, Iowa. And I want to talk to you a little bit about why we celebrate Christmas on December 25th in the Western world. Now, there's a lot we could talk about with the manger here in Centerville, but from my understanding that this is going to expand and that it's going to be put back in its rightful place, hopefully very soon. So next year, when this is in its proper location, I'm going to go into some of the more details about each of the three kings, the manger, how they got there. But for this, I just want to concentrate on why we celebrate Christmas in the Western world on December 25th. So the very first celebration of Christmas in recorded history was December 25th, 336 in the city of Rome. Now, the December 25th was also the winter solstice for the Roman Empire, and coincides with the Sol Invictus, which is the day of the unconquering sun, because this is when the sun actually starts gaining 2 minutes of light per day, same as it does in our time with our winter and summer solstice. The winter solstice is the beginning of the sun regaining daylight, and the summer solstice, the sun starts to we lose daylight by 2 minutes each and every single day. So the idea that that Christians just took a pre-existing holiday and converted it to a Christian one isn't uncommon and isn't unfounded, because it is something that was done widely across the ancient world, with pagan holidays being incorporated into Christian ones, trying to help convert non-Christians into Christianity. But there's actually another theory other than just adopting old Roman holidays, and this one I think takes a little bit more spirituality into it and into account. Now there are two schools on the day they start with this. It basically starts with the Annunciation. And the Annunciation is when the archangel came down to Mary and explained to her that she was going to give birth to a son, and that even that she was a virgin, that she was going to give birth to a son, and the son was going to be the anointed one. The son was to be named Jesus, and he was going to be the Son of God, and that she should be prepared and be loving and welcoming of this son. And that's kind of where we get to where this takes place, okay? Now, the date on which this happened in the Roman world correlates to our March 25th. Now, why is it March 25th? It's because that's also the day they believe that Christ was crucified. Now, if you take their belief that the crucifixion and the day of the anointment was on the same day of the year, you take 9 months from the day of the Annunciation, you get December 25th. Now, in the further eastern world, in Transcaucasia, in Armenia, and what is now Georgia and Azerbaijan, that actually, the Annunciation takes place on April 6th, leading to the day that Christ would be born would have been on January 6th. Now, this was the span between December 25th and January 6th, which you started, the January 5th to be the end, was the spread of 12 days of Christmas. So that's where you get kind of the 12 days of Christmas from. Now, as history moves on, the calendar starts to change. Now, this is where we have the change from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. This is a 300-year process, but it starts in 1582. And 300 years later, in 1927, the last of the major westernized nations changes its calendar, eliminating from up to 10 to 13 days, depending on which year they changed it to. But it wasn't until even the mid-1700s that the North America changed its calendar from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. Now, the Orthodox churches, which are the Greek and the Russian, which changed their calendar in 1918, for them, they took what day was Christmas, which was what the old December 25th, and just put it right back where it was, which is now January 7th. And that's why the Orthodox world of the Greeks and the Russians and the Ukrainians and Serbs, the Orthodox Christmas is December 7th, is that they didn't change the date, even though the calendar changed. And the Armenians have kept it on January 6th, just because they moved it with the dates because they felt it to be the most proper way of doing it. They adopted the new calendar. And that's how you kind of get the development of the different days of Christmas, the 25th of December, the 6th of January, and the 7th of January, because the Orthodox and the Catholics during the schism split off, and they no longer decided that they were going to, the Orthodox didn't want to switch to the Gregorian calendar right away because it was a Catholicism Western view of things, and the Orthodox didn't want to change with that change initially. So that's how you get December 25th as being the day of Christmas, which Christians around the world celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, their Savior. And the Orthodox Christians, they still keep it on January 7th because that was December 25th for them. And just because the calendar changed doesn't mean the day actually changes. And the Armenians use theirs for the same process of going the 9 months from the Annunciation. So I know this is not really into theology, but I think this is important, why we celebrate holidays on the days that we do. Because the religion is a part of it, yes, but it is a huge part of our culture and on who we are and how we identify as a people. And that's, again, reason why these things aren't a means of oppression, but a means of showing unity and showing that we come from the same place, that we have a unifying factor. And I think that needs to be shared, so we understand that our holidays aren't just religious ceremonies, but greater cultural ceremonies that make us the great people that we are. And I want to share with you the origins of many holidays, and I will continue to do so as the year progresses, and we celebrate other holidays that have religious origins, which is practically all of them. So thank you very much for your time. I wish you all have a wonderful day, and have a Merry Christmas.